Are you struggling to lose weight and keep it off? Tired of wasting time and money on starvation diets that lead to more frustration and stress? If there was a weight loss solution that could actually work for you, would you try it? Then head to Golo.com.
I'm Steve. I lost 138 pounds in 9 months on Golo.
I'm Amber. I've lost 128 pounds with Golo.
If you're ready to take back control of your life, head to Golo.com now and see how Golo can work for you. That's Golo.com.
My sleep is way better. My inflammation has gone way down. Golo saved my life. I was way overweight. That's what sent me down the path. I wanted to make sure and live for my kid.
I have literally tried everything. I was on the verge of getting gastric bypass surgery, and I saw the Golo commercial, and it was the last thing I tried because it worked.
Join over 2 million people who found a better way to lose weight with Golo. Your healthier and happier life begins at Golo.com. That's Golo.com. Again, Golo.com.
Listen, look at me. I want to be chill, but God has other plans for me. Okay? Peace.
On this episode of The Commercial Break.
He didn't ask anything about us. Basically, he asked us 3 questions. How did you guys meet? What is your show about? And would you like to sleep with me and my wife? What part of the country are you from that squirrels are nocturnal? It's hard to find those nuts during the night. If there was such thing as a, Cherokee Death Cat, you would not catch me ever in the middle of the woods looking for the Cherokee Death Cat. You want to know why? 'Cause I'm not a fucking moron. Instead of being a real death machine, he was a lover. He sprayed me with a little piss and told me he'd be back to find me.
The next episode of The Commercial Break starts now.
Yeah, cats and kittens, welcome back to The Commercial Break. I am Bryan Green. This is my dear friend and beautiful co-host, Kristen Joy Hoadley. Best to you, Krissy.
Best to you, Bryan.
And best to you out there in the podcast universe. How the hell are you? Thanks for joining us on yet another episode of this, The Commercial Break. It's not for everyone, but fact, news, or fiction is guaranteed in 15 seconds or less. You heard it here last. All right. Let's get into it. We're cleaning out the lists. You know, we have these lists that we make, for show content, and we've been going all year with, all these different lists. And everyone just can't seem to get on the same page. It's probably my fault. It's all my fault. I'm the head honcho around here, so I probably could just tell everyone to use one list.
Yeah, you were telling me to use one thing, but then when you wanted to use
then
another,
I was using a different thing altogether.
Then finally I just started texting
I was just making you... I was making more work for you, is what I was doing. I'm like any boss of a company. I just make more work for my employees. Why? I don't know, because I'm paying them. But you're not an employee, just to be clear.
Yes.
There are employees, but you're not an employee.
Yes.
Matthias is an employee. He's an employee of the
Mia.
Commercial Break. Yes. They come in here and make sure that they come in here and they make sure that all my equipment is working at least once a week. And then Dad has to come in here and spend 3 hours fixing it. I come in here the other day and Mia had stuck princess stickers all over the thing. And I was like, oh, that's cute. But I couldn't get them out of the channels.
Thing.
Yeah. I was so pissed. But she's too cute to dislike.
She is.
Whatever. So anyway, it's the end of the year. We're getting toward the end of season number 3. Just so you know, scheduling wise, we'll be back early February to start season number 4. New and improved, better than ever. We're actually going to spend some time working on the podcast. That'll be a refreshing change.
It will be.
Yeah, for those listening. It'll be more work for us, but for those listening, it'll probably be a refreshing change.
We're going to at least attempt to do that.
We are going to attempt to do that. So I thought that what I would do is I would go through here some lists that we had. Here's
the list.
Get to the back of the line. Here's some lists, and then we go through them rapid fire. And by rapid fire, what I mean is quickly, but what we have been doing is very slowly. Yes. Quickly to us means 5 to 10 minutes on every topic. So you want to do it?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay. Did you know that Tim Allen was once a blow dealer?
Yes.
He went to jail for cocaine distribution.
Yeah, I thought
did you know
actually
that?
Talked about this.
Did
one.
we?
We did.
Oh, okay, maybe I just didn't check it off the list.
We did. That's crazy, though, to think about.
And I think about this every Christmas because that's the time when I usually see Tim Allen
or
again.
You think about doing blow?
Yeah. Think about it. How do you think I get through this fucking show?
Snow,
blow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
It's blowing snow, something like that.
I gotta get some cocaine. Driving me crazy.
So, yeah, but every time that I think about it, every time I see Tim Allen, I remember that at one point he spent like 7 years in jail or something like that for blow distribution, because he wasn't just like, dealing a dime bag he wasn't dime bag Daryl. That guy, he wasn't doing that. He was like trafficking cocaine.
Really?
Yes. Isn't that amazing?
There needs to be a Netflix story about that. I'd watch it.
I'm surprised there hasn't. I've seen documentaries with Tim Allen about Tim Allen, like the A&E version, the real softball version,
Yes.
where they like briefly touch on it, and he says, "I learned my lesson," But did he? Is Tim Allen still snorting blows? What I want to know, because old habits die hard, and so I'm thinking that
there could be a chance.
There could be a chance that Tim Allen is still running blow around the country. Wouldn't that be funny if you got like a Tim the Tool Time Taylor or whatever his name was? You got a stamp on your cocaine bag.
A little hammer.
A little hammer. That movie, Christmas with the Cranks, you ever seen that movie? Yes. It is so fucking bad.
It is.
It is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're running it all the time on AMC. And I'm like, why? Of all the movies to choose, it's Christmas Vacation, Christmas with the Cranks.
The night before, the Seth Rogen.
Oh, the Seth Rogen
It's
one's pretty
so funny.
fucking funny.
It's
yeah.
so funny.
But is it on AMC? Is it uncensored on AMC?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It requires censoring.
You don't even know what channel AMC is on your cable, do you?
No, I mean, I just bought the movie, so I don't know.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh,
I liked it
So
that
you don't
much.
even know that they're running it on AMC. Krissy's just making stuff up.
Isn't that what we do here?
Fact, news, or fiction? Did you know that at one point mammals didn't have buttholes? Did you know that? That a butthole is the result of evolution. That at one point we just had one in and one hole going in, but that hole was also for going out. And scientists really aren't sure which hole that is. No. So it's very possible we could have been talking on our asses while we were shitting.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yay! I read this story and I was so fascinated by it. I was like, we should talk about this on the commercial break. But then, I don't know, it's kind of gross to think about all the different things that could go into
There's a
that.
reason that evolutionized into a different way.
So the bullshit could come out of both my mouth and my ass. Welcome again to the commercial break.
Yes.
You know that Disney built that a Disney Galactic Hotel? You know that? Have you heard about this whole thing?
Yeah.
Total flop, complete failure. So I took the time,
There's a lot of Disney news lately.
Disney hasn't had such a great year.
Yeah.
I'd say they haven't had such a great 3 or 4 years since that guy Bob Chapek was in charge.
Right.
Now they got Bob Iger back. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of the problems started with Bob Iger. I'm not sure that it's all Bob Chapek's fault, right? But without getting into completely boring stuff about the Disney Corporation, they built this hotel. They bought the rights to Star Wars from Lucasfilms for like $30 billion or whatever it was, $3 billion. They immediately go and they make as many movies as they possibly can regarding Star Wars. And only one of them is good. And then everything else is just shite, right? Mm-hmm. And now they have this television series that I guess is good, Mandalorian. I haven't watched it.
The Mandalorian's good, but now they've got so many other ones too. I was talking to Jeff about it yesterday.
Boba Fett and
I was looking at it and I got a notification about another one coming out, and I thought, I don't need to know about every single character's complete history of their life.
I know. They kind of stealing the magic from Star Wars a little bit. Like the first trilogy of movies, there was a backstory, but you didn't necessarily need to know who put the screw on the Millennium Falcon that caused it to, fall apart in hyperspeed. Like, you don't need to know that.
Yeah.
But that's where Disney's going with it. It's like they're taking this whole pantheon, this whole lore.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going in every crack and crevice and trying to pull content out of it. Some of it good, but a lot of it bad. Mm-hmm. And just for what reason? I don't know. Because they have to make their $3 billion
They
back.
do.
So they built these two lands, the Star Wars land, the Star Wars themed lands, one in Disney World, one in Disneyland, $1 billion each. I've been there. It's neat, but it's got one ride that you'd want to ride. It's like you pay
Whenever you use the word neat means that it's not great.
Good. Yeah. Neat is a polite way of saying it's shite. You can't do that, Jackie Weaver. So they built these lands. They're okay, but they're kind of duds. And then they go and they build a whole hotel that's the second you walk in the door, you don't go anywhere for like 2 or 3 days. It's
all immersive.
Envelop you in this immersive experience where, there's something, I don't know what it is. The Galactic Star-Lord is taking your super lightsaber and, making it soft when it's supposed to be hard or whatever. I don't know what the deal is. And you go up and down the elevators and beep, 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 and makes noises. And really, so I watched one of those like videos, like those review videos that a lot of these people do. They go in and they give you a point of view about everything that's going on. And so they have like space poker, space chess. You can play, Pictionary, like Star Wars Pictionary. It's the most, you spend $5,000 and then it's the most inane, mundane bullshit you could ever hope to imagine out of a Star Wars hotel where you're stuck for 2 or 3 fucking days and you're paying out the nose for it. You don't even have a window in your room. Your window is a screen that shows Star Wars shit, whatever that is. Space. Thank you for remembering the technical name of all that stuff out there. So this hotel, which was supposed to be, sold out for months and everyone was, it was going to be this big ordeal.
Yeah,
it was never really sold out, and now it's kind of a flop. And so I don't know why we're talking about this, but I just thought I'd mention it.
We're cleaning out the
We're cleaning out the list. So even as a diehard Disney World fan, I don't think I'd spend an extra fucking dollar to do any of that stuff. I don't want to be stuck in a hotel for 2 or 3 days. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to go on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
That's right. Where I can get drunk and jump off the boat like the Coke bros that were doing that in a video one time. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Bunch of kids, teenagers, 21, 22, however old they were, and they're drunk, and they're in their cabin, and they're out of port. And their rooms that have balconies are facing the sea. So they're in port, but the other side of the ship is docked.
Yes.
And one guy just runs, and he leaps over the balcony, and he just goes head first into the water. And then a whole fucking, then everybody in town's got to go try and rescue the guy because obviously he's injured because he can't jump off 35 fucking stories of up and then expect that you're going to land on water safely. It's dumb. Thank you, Krissy.
You're welcome.
Podcast directory is a thing.
Oh, the podcast directory.
I just got to say this. I'm just going to say it out loud. Why not? No one's listening to this fucking show anyway. The podcast director. There's a thing out there called the Podcast Magazine, which is a pretty ridiculous concept in and of itself.
We were featured in there.
We were featured in it. So that's why it's even more ridiculous.
Exactly.
The fact that we actually got featured in the Podcast Magazine should be an indication.
Early on, like before we were even recording in together, we were doing it from our laptops.
We were like 30 episodes in, I think. I know. And if you want to hear a really bad podcast, go like 30 episodes into the commercial break. You're going to hear a really bad podcast. According to some reviews, we're still really bad, but we at least look better here in this studio. We sound better. We have actual microphones now. So we get propositioned to...
I sure did get propositioned.
Krissy Let's tell this story because it's good. So someone says... We're looking for a comedy podcast to feature in the Podcast Magazine. Would you like to be that featured podcast? So I say yes. And somebody who is in charge of that particular section of the magazine decides he's going to get on a Zoom call with us to do an interview that's then going to be written about and put in a Podcast Magazine. How ridiculous is that? Just think about that for a second. So we get on this Zoom call, and I'm a couple of minutes late to the Zoom call. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm there first.
I can't get in or whatever. And as soon as I pop on, I can now see this guy and Krissy. And I can see that Krissy is already horribly uncomfortable for whatever reason. I don't know, right? And so this douche canoozle then proceeds to interview us. He doesn't ask us any questions about us. He just tells us about himself and how he's a swinger and how he's gonna...
Yeah, he showed his wife my picture. She really liked it.
It was awful.
Da, 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 da.
All of a sudden, we were being
like,
propositioned for a foursome.
Okay.
Like, we didn't know, are you two together? Have you two ever had sex?
No.
Did you know that my wife and I have sex with other people that look just like you? Would you like to come out and visit us? We're only 17 hours away. We can come to you. Do you want to see my penis? The whole thing just went off the tracks from the beginning. He didn't ask anything about us. Basically, he asked us 3 questions. How did you guys meet? What is your show about? And would you like to sleep with me and my wife? The first 2 questions took 2 seconds to answer. The last one, we just let like a dangling participle. We just let it go.
Oh, he was trying to message me too, like separately on the Zoom.
Oh my God. It was,
like,
He was like, do you really need this guy? What if I just do the commercial break with my dick in your mouth? I mean, how do you feel about that? It was really weird. It was very uncomfortable. It was probably complete.
But we were featured.
And we got a 4-page spread. He took our 2-word answers and he did a 4-page spread where he talked more about his sex life. And it was just like a whole weird thing. So we get featured in this magazine. And listen, at the time, any press is good press. Yeah, we were just trying to grow the show. We didn't know what was good or what was bad. Right. We had just started. I always suspected that Podcast Magazine was a little bit of an oddball thing to do. But I said, hey, it's a thing. Let's do it. And other prominent people had been featured on this.
Yes.
So if it's still around, and I don't think it is, but if it's still around, you can go and look up. What is it, like December of 2020, I think?
Yeah, something like
December of 2020 is when, or November, one of the two. So as an addendum to the Podcast Magazine, you too can be featured in the Podcast Directory, which is what Apple does on their podcast app. I don't know why you'd need a Podcast Directory.
No.
Because there are millions of them. But okay. Podcast Directory that then comes out in magazine format, Krissy, because nothing screams
magazine
Web 3 like
nothing screams technology like a print magazine.
Like a print magazine you can't find or buy anywhere. The whole thing is sus. Let's just put it that way. It's all sus.
It's basically a way to make money, right? Because to be in the directory, you have to pay.
Or do you? Because here's the thing. So the first year that we knew of the Podcast Magazine, I paid some very small nominal fee to be in that Podcast Magazine because I felt I had to. And that was a different story altogether I won't get into. But I felt like I had to do that. There was a number of people
There were a number of compromising photos.
Yes.
That they had.
I had a picture of that guy who interviewed us with his dick in my mouth.
So you had to feel.
I really want to be on Podcast Magazine cover.
I really had to pay.
Yeah. Instead, I decided to pay to keep those photographs under wraps. And so this fucking Podcast Directory is not a podcast directory of who's good or who's bad. It's not of who's got the best ratings or most traffic. It's not even if you still have a
phone
podcast.
Book. But for podcasts?
But there's only like 20 podcasts per category. And looking back on that Podcast Directory, knowing we were going to talk about this today, looking back on that, I think half the podcasts are not even podcasts anymore.
I'm sure.
I think there are 2 podcasts in the Podcast Directory that I know of that weren't even podcasts when the Podcast Directory came out. It was like, coming soon, my podcast. Who's buying this? I don't know. Who's even looking at it is even clueless. But it can certainly bring you hundreds of thousands of new listeners, according to the media.
Certainly.
According to the media package, right? This was a dumb idea from the beginning. But listen, I've had plenty of dumb ideas too in my life. One of them being the commercial fucking break. So I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. I'm not going to be throwing stones in a glass house. But here's the thing: we never paid for the Podcast Directory this year or last year. Yet we were the #1 comedy podcast in the Podcast Directory this year and last year.
Really?
And I think it's because we paid for it the year before, and they couldn't convince another shithead to pay them more money. So we got like a 3-fer.
Her grandfather done.
Yeah, and honestly, I just wish they would take me out because I don't want to be associated anymore. I'm going to have to write a cease and desist. Please don't give me any more free publicity. It's so stupid. It's the stupidest thing. And I'm sorry to any of those whose feelings I might be hurting. Like Paris Hilton was on the most recent cover.
Okay.
How the mighty have fallen. Paris Hilton went from her own TV show and fashion line to the cover of Podcast Magazine.
Yeah.
Distribution 350 strong. Where do you pick up a copy of the podcast?
I don't know. I was going to say
magazine?
next time at the grocery store, I might look and see in that magazine section, which I always skip that aisle.
There is no way in the good fuck that podcast magazine is in any grocery store near you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even know where you would get it. I really don't. We got a hard copy.
The funny part.
Yeah,
The tabloidy part.
It should be in the. You know how they have like fire
Toilet paper?
starter logs? Yeah, starter logs for your fire.
Yes,
Should
next
be
to
right
there.
there. Yeah, it should be in that area. Just rolled up podcast magazines. Keeps you warm during the winter. But we have a copy. They sent us a copy. Remember they sent us a copy one
I
time
have
of
it
the hard
somewhere
copy?
in my
Do you?
shit pile.
In your shit pile.
You know, that box where you just throw stuff and
Yeah.
you're like, I don't want to throw it away.
Yeah, all my tax information and the bills I don't want to pay, they're all in this big shit pile on my table.
Yeah.
I bet my podcast magazine is somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But I just thought, I mean, this happened way back in February, but I thought I'd mention it because I got the notification that the new podcast directory had been issued. And then I looked at the new podcast and I was like, we're like have a half-page spread.
Okay.
And I'm like, I didn't order that. I didn't do that. I didn't want that. Who gave that to me? Take it away, please. Calgon, take me away. Okay. Let me get to one more thing, and then I'm going to get to today's meat and potatoes. I wanted to say this to our dear friend, Natalie. Remember Natalie? Okay.
Yes.
Natalie, for those of you that don't know, they had a friend. There was some crushing going on each side, but neither of them would tell each other till like 5 years into the friendship. Mm-hmm. Then they contacted us and said that he had told them that they were that he
interested.
He loved them,
pining away.
And I'm saying they and them because she's
pansexual.
She's pansexual. And
Yes.
refers to herself as they and them. And I'm saying all of this that we have our first commercial break relationship. It's Natalie and their boyfriend, I guess is what you would say. They're both pansexual. But when we gave an update a couple of weeks ago, I referred to them as her. And I just wanted to say, I apologize.
Okay. We're trying to get used to all this, Natalie. We're sorry.
Yeah, honestly, we're just trying to navigate
The
it
waters.
all. Yeah, we're just showing our age right now.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I was hanging out with some like youngsters the other day, and they navigated it beautifully.
Oh, yeah.
They, them, it, we, for sure. Like all this, they had it all down. They had all the lingo down. They nailed it, and I'm like a
We don't have
blubbering
enough
idiot.
practice.
No, we don't. We need more practice.
Yeah.
And we have they and them that contact us all the time. And they'll put it, they, them, right? So, Natalie, we love you. And I just wanted to say that very briefly.
And hopefully you and your love interest are going well.
They are. They're doing well together. I just thought I'd say that. I told you that the last update, like there was talk of children.
Thanksgiving happened.
They went to go see the parents together and say, hey, we're no longer friends now, we're an item. And then there's talk of children. And I wanted to be the godfather, not the real godfather, because you don't want to give me any responsibility. I'm all full up on responsibilities over here, but like the podcast godfather. Like if your kid ever needs anything podcast
Any
related,
kind of advice.
yeah, you need any kind of advice, don't pay for the podcast directory. If anybody from Podcast Magazine calls you and you're not into polyamory, get out. So I wanted to apologize. And this is a big deal, Natalie, and I'll tell you why. Because you know how many mistakes I've made on this podcast? Do you know how many things I've said that are incorrect on this podcast and never once apologized for any of them? But I'm saying that
Thousands.
because hundreds of thousands.
Let's give a quick shout out to Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet and that whole thing.
Oh my God.
I was listening to that
Oh,
show
yeah, that's an
earlier. I
awful
was like,
train
oh
wreck.
my God.
We didn't even come close to getting that one
I
right.
did. You were
What? You were the one feeding me the
so
information.
confused.
I'm always confused. That's why you're here.
Okay. Anyway.
That's why you get paid the big bucks. You're supposed to straighten me out. It's supposed to be Bryan's this crazy wackadoodle dude.
A wild and
Krissy,
crazy
a wild
guy.
and crazy guy, and Krissy reins me back in every
I mean,
once
I
in a while.
try. I can only do so much. I'm
You
only
tried.
one person.
I was totally lost on that. I didn't know whether or not Jason Momoa was sleeping with the daughter or the sister, the stepbrother. I didn't even know what was going on.
know.
But we got it all straightened out. Lisa Bonet
Lisa Bonet.
has been with both
Lenny Kravitz,
and Jason Momoa. She is on an epic run. Two of the hottest guys to ever live, and she slept with both of them.
Yeah. To which I said, I don't know if it's a run because
no, it's more of a walk.
There's 20 years apart between the two.
It's more of a Bryan
But
run.
I have no doubt. Let me just say this. I have no doubt that Lisa Bonet is always going to be on a run.
Oh my God, she's gorgeous. She's
So's
so
the daughter.
good looking.
So everybody, yeah.
It's like Bryan.
So is Lenny.
If you ever go down to the park and you see me running, you're probably going to pass me with your walking pace. I run at like 60-minute mile. The other day, there was a kid on his bicycle, and I was running, and he had just learned. He's like wobbling all around, and he passed me double speed. He was like, and his mom has got another kid in the stroller, and she's pushing the stroller faster than I'm running. She wasn't running; she's just walking, and I'm like,
training wheel bike.
I'm trying to get in shape. All right, so it's the end of the year. We ask people to tell us what your favorite segment or review clip or whatever it was. If you tell us, we would get to it before the end of the year because it's likely we probably won't revisit this in season number 4 for at least the first couple of weeks.
Yes.
And people were split.
Frankie.
80% of it was either Frankie B or Mountain Monsters.
Right.
And I would say it was a pretty even split between those two. But some people who liked the Mountain Monster bits really didn't like the Frankie B bits. They
well, sorry about last episode, folks.
Love, hate, yeah.
Well,
I didn't even know it was the last episode. We might even throw that one out there. You know what time it is. It's time for the commercial break inside of the commercial break. And I'll keep it short because you already know. 855-TCB-8383. That's 1-855-TCB-8383 is how you get a hold of us directly. It's not a spam text message line. You can send us your comments, questions, concerns, or content ideas all through text message to 855-TCB-8383. If you're brave, leave a voicemail. We want to know about your favorite moment from season number 3. That's all of 2022. Any episode, any clip, any moment, text us. Please let us know. We've got a special surprise between season 3 and season 4, and we want you involved. Go to tcbpodcast.com, hit the contact us button. You can also send us a message there, listen to all the audio, or watch all the video. Better yet, go to youtube.com/the commercial break to watch full episodes in a whole new light. Watching the video version will give you extra tickles right in your pickles. One more tiny little favor. If you are ever in the market for our sponsors, products, or services, please use the specialized URLs or codes, or go to the website that we mention on those advertisements so that the sponsors know we're doing a wonderful job. Let's listen to a word from those wonderful financial sponsors, and then we'll be back to this episode of the Commercial Break. All right, everybody, I gotta let you know about our wonderful sponsors, Lululemon. Last week, I stopped by the Lululemon store to get myself a pair of joggers. If you think Lululemon is just for yoga pants, you are wrong, just like I was. Lululemon can accommodate almost any piece of your wardrobe, and they do it in style and in comfort. It's the most cozy, the most comfortable, the most flattering, active and casual wear you will ever purchase. And now, Lululemon is a sponsor of the Commercial Break, so go to lululemon.com this holiday season. Their website has hundreds of different styles for men and for women. Jackets, slacks, hoodies, sweatshirts, socks, underwear, and yes, activewear. It's all available at lululemon.com. Guys, don't be shy. I swear, these are the most comfortable pants I have ever worn. I'm saying it again. Never did I picture myself a Lululemon kind of guy, and now I'm sold for life. Krissy got a jacket. She's in love with it. Astrid's ordered some apparel for after the baby comes, and now I am eyeing some slacks for Christmas. So go to lululemon.com. Get comfortable, get cozy, get Lululemon this holiday season for anyone who needs a little comfort in their life. Lululemon.com, and we want to thank Lululemon for becoming a sponsor of the Commercial Break. We would like to review another Mountain Monsters. Ladies and gentlemen, I was trolling on the internet.
As you do.
As I do like to do, Krissy. What do you say we give it one more college try?
What is the monster that they're searching?
The fanged creature.
The old fanged creature.
Or something like that. I don't know. What? I'm sure Buck will be yelling and screaming about it any moment now. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time in season 3, our good friends at Mountain Monsters.
All right, guys, the next creature we're going to investigate is one we have a history with. We're going to Cherokee County, North.
I've been dating this creature for 3 years. It's my ex-wife.
We go back, way back.
The next creature we're going to be investigating is my ex-wife and her new boyfriend, Daryl.
Carolina, and we're going after the Cherokee Death Cat.
Hell yes,
The
let's get out.
The Cherokee
Death
Death Cat. Wow.
Whoa.
That's an intense name. By the way, this is not too
Which
far off
could
from
also
where
be
we
a
live.
fanged creature.
Yeah, it's Cherokee Death Cat. It's probably a calico with 12 kittens.
I'm excited. We know this Death Cat is nothing to mess with. It's a huge feline.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So they're showing an artist rendering.
It looks like one of those things that you would go to the museum, like if you go to the Museum of Natural History.
Natural History, and you see
it would be
yeah,
a recreation.
the fangled toothed tiger.
It's got horns or claws coming out of its
mouth. Yeah, coming out of its head.
Head.
Wow.
All over its head, there's claws.
I think the artist took a little liberty here. I'm just going to guess. It's a lion.
We need more claws.
Yeah. Put more claws in his eyes.
A few more claws.
Weighing in at 500 pounds, 4 foot to the shoulder, a call that would absolutely take your head off. We're getting ready to meet with our first eyewitness.
There must be our guy.
An outdoorsman named Bubba. He's grown.
Yep, looks completely legitimate to me.
It's our first eyewitness.
What's your
Outdoorsman named Bubba.
What's your day job, Bubba? I'm the executive director of Podcast Magazine.
Been up here his whole life, and he knows this place like the back of his hand. Well, Bubba, we heard you had a pretty interesting encounter out here.
Dude, we were whacking each other off. One minute I'm walking around trying to shoot some squirrel, and next minute I'm getting whacked off by a fangle-toothed tiger. He's got petroleum jelly that comes out of his claws.
Well, yeah, we did. Me and my dad was squirrel hunting back here on the back of the place. Had a pretty good night. Killed a limit. So when we're
hold on.
Squirrel hunting.
Not only was he a squirrel hunting, but he had to add in that they had a pretty good night. We killed a lot of innocent creatures.
I've heard of deer hunting.
Yep.
I've heard of all different kinds of hunting, but specific squirrel hunting.
Squirrel hunting is a thing. My dad does it all the time to keep those squirrels off the roof. Right. Luckily, he's a bad shot, but he scares them.
Me and my dad was squirrel hunting back here on the back of the place. Had a pretty good night. Killed our limit. So when we're
killed our limit, what's the limit on dead squirrels? What is the limit on dead squirrels?
My God.
300.
I know. Jeez.
And by the way, who's killing squirrels at night? I don't see squirrels at night. What part of the country are you from that squirrels are nocturnal? It's hard to find those nuts during the night. That's what she said.
Those little eyes.
Oh.
Coming out of the woods, I was along about that tree right back there, that big one that's kind of leaning sideways. And Dad was in front of me on that little bank, and he just stopped dead. And so
he just stopped dead.
He died.
He had another widowmaker. 4th this week.
He got up off his bike, and he turned around and looked at me.
A bike.
And he said, "Did you see?"
Bike?
Bike.
I didn't know there was a bike involved. He said he was walking up along the bank. I can see. Yeah, this guy's pretty old in the first place. Like, I can't see like a 92-year-old man biking through the woods.
Shooting squirrels.
I know. What are you doing? I'm shooting squirrels and practicing for the X Games.
Oh, got my limit.
Got my limit. 300. There it is.
Practicing for the X Games. Like mountain biking.
Mountain biking with a gun in his hand and a sheath of dead squirrels hanging off his back. Just like a bundle of dead squirrels hanging off the handlebars. 360 ollie. Throw me a Mountain Dew.
A Red Bull.
Hey, son, get that Papa John's app up. $5 off Fridays. We're going to go BMX biking out in the woods, hunt squirrels in the dark on my new Huffy.
See that? And I said, see what, Dad? And he said, that big cat. He said, son, that cat was 8 or 9 foot long. Said it was huge.
Daggone.
Said it come running.
Daggone. Daggone. This is like a caricature of Southern people.
It's so
yeah,
funny.
it is such satire.
It really is.
I know there are people like this that exist. I've met them. I've been to Cherokee, North Carolina. I know what goes on up there. And they're all very nice people, but I don't think many of them are out squirrel hunting at night looking for fangle-toothed tigers.
Hit this fallen log.
Death
and
cat.
Dad said,
Yeah.
The death cat.
It's the death cat. Oh, yeah, the death cat. That's
You
what
know.
you
You know.
Yeah, we're out here looking for the death cat.
leapt through the air and hit right there on that bare spot on that tree, and then jumped off and went running that way as hard as it could go. He said, did you see it?
It jumps.
He said, did you hear him? He's right in front of us. Let's talk about him like he's not here. He said he jumped 47 feet into the bare spot on the tree.
Then pinged
And then,
off.
yeah, that's right. Like a
ping ponging all over the
like a pinball machine. He bounced off and went a mile that way at 3,000 miles per hour. And then he came back with his limit of dead squirrels. We all had a squirrel roast. Sponsored by Mountain Dew and ABC.
and Huffy.
And Huffy.
It jumped from this log to that tree.
Yep, according to my...
I couldn't tell if it was my dad kicking a new awesome ass trick or the 10-foot long snarl-toothed tiger. Face-toothed tiger.
Dad. And I mean, he was physically shaking.
Had him not shook up. For his dad to be shook up like this, living here all his life, he's seen an impressive creature that scared the hell out of him.
You don't even know his dad. His dad could have the shakes anyway. What are you talking about?
I'm interested to see how far it is from that log up to where it lit up in that tree. That's a pretty long shot. I want to get a measure.
Once you
Get out the measurement.
Once you get out your dick and measure it, Buck. I want to get out a measuring tool that I have been using for a while. It's this here stick.
That measuring tape, first of all, like, there's not one that goes that long, I don't think.
There is. There are ones that go
Okay.
like football fields long, right?
Okay.
But they're big. And number one, and number two, there's like you can go to Home Depot and buy a laser for $10 that can measure a football field.
And see exactly how far this big cat jumped.
How far is
What if
that?
they just kept
50
trying to get it,
feet.
kept snapping back?
Yeah.
Ow.
Ow! Stop that. Well, hold still then. I'm trying to get a fake estimate of how far this fake creature fake jumped.
And it's another at least 6 foot to where it landed at. You're looking at 54, 55 feet.
Wow. You know, I've heard of cougars, mountain lions being able to jump 35 feet. Never heard of anything being able to jump 50. The only cats in
You know, I've heard of crystal meth addicts being able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, but never a cat.
this area are bobcats and mountain lions. That's not what Bubba's dad's seen. What he's seen, that's the Cherokee Death Cat. Bubba, we appreciate you telling us your story, man.
Based on Bubba's story.
This is really great scientific information that we're going to take back to Harvard, where we're currently doing a study on fangle-toothed tigers. I mean, you'd be the most famous person on earth if you found a fangle-toothed tiger.
Death cat.
A death cat. And why isn't the fangle-toothed death cat? Why isn't this guy talking to a scientist or something?
Oh, no.
This is a perfect spot for us to get out here tonight and do an investigation and find out if this is Cherokee Death Cat.
Of course, it has to be at night.
Yeah. It
Of
has to
course
be at
it's at
night.
night.
It has to be at night. It has to be in the woods. It has to be alone. And there has to be a certain element of certain death in order for it to
Yeah.
be exciting. If there was such thing as a Cherokee Death Cat, you would not catch me ever in the middle of the woods looking for the Cherokee Death
No.
Cat. You want to know why? 'Cause I'm not a fucking moron. I'm going to let these guys do it. Show me on Travel Channel.
After talking to Bubba today, we took that measurement. That cat leapt uphill 55 feet. A massive killing machine. Yeah. This is the Cherokee.
I don't know there's any down there, but it's over there. But boss ain't guilty, but down low, they do right. Whoa. Woo!
Cherokee Death Cat. So we head out this way, start working back and forth, see if we can find any signs.
So let's break up.
Yeah,
let's separate.
Let's get away, as far away from each other as we can.
To make it easier for him to eat us.
He's a killing machine.
He's a killing machine.
Cherokee Death Cat's still in this area.
Sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
These big predator cats, they don't fool around. This thing could be on top of you before you blink your eyes, and you're done.
Something big's been through here. There's bare dirt where leaves are kicked up. It's almost like we jumped something.
Hold it for a minute.
What's wrong, Jeff?
Hold up for a minute. He's got an infrared camera, like binoculars, and he's pointing them right at the back of Buck. And he's like, hold up for 1 second. I got something in the camera.
It's big.
It's big. Oh, guys, I don't want to point out the obvious, but I think that's Buck you're looking at. I'll be over here shutting up.
I got something glowing right in the bottom of that tree right there. About 20 yards.
Oh, check this out.
Check this out. It's a worm. Check this out. I just pissed up on that tree. Just look at it through the thermals. Get the thermals. The thermals. It's so stupid. Get the thermals. I'll get the thermals.
There's a penis.
Looks like
It's
a
fresh.
penis.
Oh, it is a penis. He's saying it's fresh pea tracks. You know that one of those guys. Hey, guys. I had too much Mountain Dew on the way to work today. I just peed up against that tree if you guys want to use that in the show.
Pee, dude.
Wow.
You can smell it. Oh, yeah. Look at those claw marks. Daggone.
Just here.
Daggone.
We just found a scent post. You can see claw marks almost 7 feet in the air and fresh urine at the base of the tree. This has to be the death cat.
Oh, dirt kicked up.
This has to be the death cat.
It has to.
Or we're not getting our contract renewed.
Through here.
Well, we definitely got a cat in here, don't we?
Without a doubt.
Look at that old tree.
Look at that old tree. Never seen anything like it in the forest before. I've never seen a tree before in a forest. It's got to be the death cat.
It's a dandy, ain't it? Turkey loves flying up in big old trees like that, man.
Turkeys love flying
Turkey?
up?
I didn't know turkeys could fly. Could turkeys fly? Do they fly? I don't know because I've never been around a turkey. I think they can
They
float.
flutter.
Yeah.
Flutter.
They flutter.
Yeah.
Not up 50 feet in a tree. Yeah.
Look at that turkey in the tree.
It's not a fucking parakeet. It's a turkey.
Hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Right up here. Sounds like something walking.
Hey, guys, there's claw marks on this tree.
It was right up through here, Huck. Right up through here. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard it.
Right there. Run that thermal, Jeff. Run that thermal.
Run that thermal. Run that thermal. That's certain to save us, no matter what it is. If we can see it in infrared, it can't see us. I heard a gunshot, by the way. Does the cat have a gun?
Right there.
Come on, let's go.
Hey, guys.
Stay right on it, Buck. Be careful.
It's getting thick.
Stay right on it.
It was going right through here. Jeff, you got anything on thermal? Right through here, Huck. Right through here. You can see where it goes through here. Jeff, you got anything on thermal? Jeff? Huck, we lost Jeff.
Boom.
I got stuck in the thermal. I'm tripping balls. I licked the death cat urine and it made me hallucinate. And now I'm in the thermal world. Now I see in thermal.
Where the hell did he go?
Oh. Right there.
Easy. That's something that's going all around us.
It's right by Jeff. It's right by Jeff. Jeff! Get down!
It's right by Jeff. It's right by Jeff. Let him get killed. It'll keep the Death Cat occupied for a few minutes. We've already lost 3 of our members. I don't even know where they are.
Get down! We gotta go. We gotta go. Let's go. Jeff! Here's the tree we left him at. He's not here. Huck, we lost him. Jeff!
We didn't look, but we lost him. They didn't do anything. They walked 2 feet, and then they go, we lost him. He's a goner. We'll come back next month for his body. This is ridiculous when you think about it. This reminds me of me and my friends when we were like 11, 12, running through the woods at night, being scared of something that wasn't there, making shit up in our heads.
Jeff, through!
I got a light. What? I got a light. Let's go. Come on. Jeff! Here's his light. He's down here.
Jeff! You got anything on the thermals? Jeff! We lost him!
Oh my God, this is so...
Jeff's right. Wait, Jeff, hold up, Jeff!
Jeff, wait a minute. It's okay. Everybody's penis gets hard every once in a while. We all shit ourselves. It's okay. You don't have to run. So what you can't see is that Jeff is found lost in the woods, apparently, just walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Grab it. Jeff. It locked eyes on me. Oh my gosh. That scared me to death.
It locked eyes with him. Yep.
It happens.
That's how I feel every time Astrid looks at me. It locked eyes with me. It knows I went to the tanning bed. It knows I bought the Roadcaster with the credit card.
Jeff, talk to me, dude. What's wrong? Talk to us.
I need to get back to the truck, and I need to be left.
I need to get back to the truck. That probably would have been a good idea in the first place. It's just to stay in the truck. No one needs to have a close-up encounter with the Death Cat of Cherokee County. Honestly.
I know.
Let him for a little bit, okay? That's what I need. That's all I need.
We just got up to Jeff, and he shook up.
I don't want to be alone again.
No, but you won't be here.
We need to get him out of these woods.
I don't want to be
He's
alone.
starting to act like my wife, and I don't like it one bit.
I don't want to be alone.
I don't want to be alone. I just want to go back up to the truck alone.
You're right behind Buck.
He's just not himself. We're getting you out of here right now.
Why is it that every time one of these Yankee Doodle dandies here finds one of these mystical creatures, first of all, they never get it on film.
No, they
but
can't.
We already know that. They can't because it's not there.
Yes.
But why is it that they all have some mysterious illness that strikes them directly afterwards where they can't talk
Remember
or walk
when the
or
one
see?
guy... Remember when the one guy went to the cave?
Yes, and he came out and he couldn't talk for an hour.
Like possessed.
Yeah. He's like, I saw it. What did you see?
A worm.
A paycheck from Travel Channel.
Easy, Jeff. Where you going,
Jeff? You're going the wrong way.
Where you going? Right now, Jeff is beyond being shook up. Easy now, easy.
Easy, Jeff.
Jeff, easy.
Well, Huckleberry,
Jeff.
you're head of
He's
security.
running into trees. He's looking.
Huckleberry, you're the head of security. What are you doing?
Say, secure Jeff.
Secure something. You can't believe there's a tree in the woods. Maybe somebody else should be head of security.
I think so.
All round up in the air. Get him to the truck as quick as we can. He's everywhere. This man's scared.
Guys, we got a ditch here we're going to have to cross. Come on.
Okay, go ahead, Jeff. Now take your time. Easy now.
Take your time, Jeff. What happened? I don't understand.
Remember the other time when the other guy, Buck, crawled into
crawled
tree?
into the tree, and he came back out, and he was all frazzled, too. Every time these guys get left alone, they need a psychiatrist. They need BetterHelp.com after.
Yep.
Whoa,
Jeff
he just fell
into the ditch.
Poor guy. That's got to be embarrassing.
Yeah.
Get him up, Buck.
Grab it. 1, 2, 3.
Right now,
That's a hard task.
get Jeff out of these woods, down to Buck's truck.
What happened to him?
Fuck Buck's truck. I'm fucking stuck in Buck's truck. What the fuck? I'm stuck in Buck's truck.
And try to get him settled down.
You're in the truck, man. You're safe.
He's had his eyes locked.
Yeah,
Now
he got his eyes locked with the Cherokee Death Cat. It'll change a man.
It will.
It'll change a man. Can't ever see the world quite the same way after you
once you go Death Cat scared, lock eyes.
Lock eyes with a fangled toothed tiger.
You can't go back.
Probably a squirrel that they're hunting at night.
Settle down.
What happened, dude?
Still taste his breath.
I can taste his breath. I didn't expect him to try for second base. Not on the first date. We don't even know each other.
He still tastes his breath.
He tongue kissed me.
Wow. I mean,
he wasn't even romantic about it.
They just get further and further. Like
I know.
it just
Goes
they
crazier
locked
and
eyes at first, but then it was so close.
He could taste his breath. Taste his breath.
But then the cat left.
Yeah, the cat left.
Yeah.
Instead of killing me, instead of being a real death machine, he was a lover. He sprayed me with a little piss and told me he'd be back to find me. He lifted his tail, made that mist that comes out of the cat's ass or whatever. He tongue kissed me and then he left. I'm not sure whether to be aroused or scared.
We locked eyes.
We locked eyes. We hooked dicks. We touched penises for one brief moment in time. Give me one moment in time when the death cat is staring at me, and in that one moment of time, I will be full of death cat pee.
Yeah.
What?
Jeff shook.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I can still taste his breath.
Are you hurt anywhere, Jeff?
My pride, mainly.
My heart.
I feel like a real dumbass doing this show season after season. The boys laugh at me at the bar.
Jeff, tell us what happened, dude.
I was looking at that big tree.
I was looking at dirty.com. I was looking at that big tree. Why are you looking at trees? It's the fucking forest in the middle of the night. You're looking for the death cat. But you're worried about the fact that there's trees in the forest.
On this tree. There's claw marks all the way to the top. I kept telling you. Hey, guys.
Take right on it, Buck.
Oh, now it's my fault you're tasting the breath of the death cat.
Get over here. I thought it was going to dive on me. Damn it.
Instead, it just came down and came that close. And then left.
Instead, it stared me in the eye and it said, I love the show. Big fans. Twitter. Hashtag Fangletooth Tiger. Slide into my DMs.
It was going to come down. I thought that was the end right there. I really did. Man, his fangs must be that long.
I understand.
Jeff said when we got separated, that death
Jeff
cat
said when
came
we
out
got
of the...
separated.
Jeff said we got separated. We down 70 and over that up and down the ditch. I'm not sure why everyone's yelling. But the louder we get, the more ratings we have. So we've taken to a screaming-only policy. Following in the footsteps of the Commercial Break podcast.
Right on top of him, so close he could smell its breath. I know you're worked up, and I know you're upset.
Past that.
You're here. You're with us. You're fine, man.
Now, I need you to go back out there. Roll around in that cat pee. And get to the middle of the woods with the thermals and get us an image.
He says my head ain't.
I know, my head ain't.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you guys walked up. I was talking to you. You were right there beside me. I was telling you, look up the tree. Why did you leave me?
Well,
right now, Jeff.
Everybody agreed to split off.
Well, no one really likes you, Jeff.
Everyone agreed to split off.
I mean, in the show, you're the expendable one. So it's like we have fun at your expense. And that's why you get paid $13 an hour.
Pissed off at us. I think the best thing we can do is get Jeff out of these woods.
Come on up.
And try to talk to him in the morning.
That could have ended really, really bad.
That's what I say to a lot of the girls that I date. I'm like, the best thing we can do is get you home, and then we talk about this in the morning.
That could end it really, really bad.
Oh.
I mean, it's classic. It's so classic.
It's just so good. It's just so good. It's so much fun. I love it. I love it. Fuck Buck's Truck. That's the name of this episode. Fuck Buck's Truck. Well, Krissy, it's been another fun-filled, fact-filled episode of The Commercial Break.
Yes, it has.
What more
Bryan.
could anyone ask for?
I don't think anything else.
How much more comedy can you fit into one 60-minute period? Eat your heart out, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle.
Oh, yeah.
They're on tour together, but we would sell out similar-sized venues.
We've got thermals.
We got thermals.
Yep. That's
We're
all
in
we
the
need to
thermals.
say.
Yeah, that's right. Krissy and I, what you don't know is as soon as the show goes dark, it literally goes dark because we can't afford the electricity. So we put on our thermals and we have show business meetings with our thermals on.
Get the thermal.
Get the thermal. Pretty soon we'll be staying at the Disney Galactic Hotel. It'll be cheap enough. It'll be cheaper than this place. I'm going to need this room for the new kid pretty soon. So.
Oh, that's right.
All right. Well, listen, here's what you do. You go to tcbpodcast.com, hit the Contact Us button, and let us know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or content ideas, most importantly. Send them to us. We would love to hear them. If we use the idea, we will credit you. I promise.
Nice.
But we can't even get to our own ideas, so
Nope.
probably less likely that you're going to get to your idea. But we do love it when people send in content ideas. Tell us your story. Tell us all about you. Share fun facts. You don't have to use your real name. That's okay. We don't mind. I don't care. Half the shit on here is made up anyway. So make something up and write us.
Yeah.
So tcbpodcast.com. You can also watch all the video and listen to all the audio. Brand new tcbpodcast.com coming, Krissy. And it's a beautiful,
It looks
beautiful
good from what I've seen
website.
so far.
Yes. Well worth the $800,000 we're paying for it. So.
What?
Yeah. We'll talk about that in our thermal business meeting.
Yeah.
1-855-TCB-8383. 855-TCB-8383. Text us. Leave us a voicemail. We will get back to you. It's not a spam text message line. We will never spam you. Don't worry. We don't have enough money to do that.
No.
So, okay. Oh, youtube.com/The Commercial Break. Full episodes a couple days after the air. Krissy, I think that's all I can do today.
I think so.
I love you.
I love you.
Best to you.
Best to you.
And best to you out there in the podcast universe. Until next time, we always say, we do say, and we must say. Goodbye.
Are you struggling to lose weight and keep it off? Tired of wasting time and money on starvation diets that lead to more frustration and stress? If there was a weight loss solution that could actually work for you, would you try it? Then head to Golo.com.
I'm Steve. I lost 138 pounds in 9 months on Golo.
I'm Amber. I've lost 128 pounds with Golo taking release.
If you're ready to take back control of your life, head to Golo.com now and see how Golo can work for you. That's GOLO.com.
My sleep is way better. My inflammation has gone way down. Golo saved my life. I was way overweight. That's what sent me down the path. I wanted to make sure and live for my kid.
I have literally tried everything. I was on the verge of getting gastric bypass surgery, and I saw the Golo commercial, and it was the last thing I tried because it worked.
Join over 2 million people who have found a better way to lose weight with Golo. Your healthier and happier life begins at Golo.com. That's GOLO.com. Again, GOLO.com.